Hey there, friends. What's happening? Hey, I wanted to share with you a travel story because this last week has been intense. Let me paint you a picture. I spent the last month traveling to Southeast Asia. I went to Philippines, which was incredible. Then I went to Indonesia. I was in Bali, which I don't need to tell you about Bali. If you've been, you know it's Bali. It's amazing. So I have this amazing trip, and on my last day in Bali, I get up that morning and I have a shoot. Then that evening, I'm supposed to fly back to Shanghai. The only problem is I have woken up with Bali belly. Now, if you've never had Bali belly, how do I explain it? Yep. So I get to the shoot. I'm trying to push through it. I'm literally like taking a couple pictures and then lying down, trying to recover, getting back up, taking more pictures, get the shot because that's all that matters. And then afterwards, me and my photographer buddy, we go to the beach because I just want to have one last sunset before I fly out. I'm already checked out of my hotel. I've got all my stuff with me. I'm ready to bounce. And while sitting there watching this amazing sunset, I suddenly realize that I'm feeling like a hot pile of Balinese garbage and I need a bathroom. So I try and stand up and I'm trying to walk to the bathroom, but I don't make it. Not how you think. No, instead, I wake up and I'm on the ground and some drunk guy's like pouring water on my face, like, bro. And like there's this girl's in my face and she's saying something. I can't understand any of it. And the only thing I can think is, did I just poop my pants?
I just sharted.
But I don't know because I can't move because I'm too weak. What I do know is that there's also blood all over me. I guess I passed out and I cracked my head off this like cinder block thing. Like the only hard thing on the entire beach, of course. And then I'm surrounded by people and this like Turkish flight attendant comes over. She's like, I know first aid. And she's trying to help and she's got my legs up and she's like, she needs sugar water. My buddy runs over. He's like, dude, what the hell? He gets me up, throws me on the back of his scooter. So then we race all the way to the hospital. And I'm like hanging on. There's like blood running down my head. I'm just like totally out of it. We get to the hospital. The doctor looks at me and she's like, yeah, you're gonna need 6 stitches. I'm also gonna need to shave a strip out of your hairline. To which I gave her this look and pleaded with her not to do it. Not to mention, I've already had that haircut and it's not really a good look for me. So she stitches me up. Meanwhile, while I'm lying there, I'm also trying to book a new hotel because I don't have a hotel that night because I've now missed my flight. I get out of the hotel, $500 later. My buddy's already taken off. The hotel I just booked, they're not answering their phone. I'm past the check-in point. It's an Airbnb. I can't get into it. Luckily, my friend Maria answers the phone and she's willing to home my homeless self for the night. And then the next day I book a hotel and I'm thinking I'll just be there for the day and I'll fly out that night. I'll be fine. No. I proceed to get violently ill and desecrate this entire hotel room. I sweat through the bed like an exorcism. The only way to clean this hotel room after my stay there would be with fire. But I suffer through it. It's rough, but I've been here before. I've had stomach sickness so many times traveling. It happens, right? But I had this other weird thing going on where I got bit with a whole bunch of bugs because I'm pretty popular with bugs. But one of them in particular is just getting like bigger and bigger, and it gets to the size of like that big on my arm, and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? So I take a photo and look at it. I'm like, this looks like a bullseye. Why does that ring a bell? So I Google it. Bullseye bug bite. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So back on the scooter, drive back to the closest clinic. I get to them. I'm like, do you recognize what this looks like? And she's like, fungus? Like, okay, no more clinics. Back to the hospital. I get in front of a dermatologist. I'm like, what's this? And he's like, that's Lyme disease. I'm like, yeah, that tracks with my week. Great. So he gives me this big, long spiel about all this different stuff. And at the end of it, he's like, look, we caught it early. You're probably going to be okay. And the only word I remember from any of it is the word probably. Less than 72 hours later, I'm back in the same spot with even more meds in my pocket. I've got more meds than the cast of the Golden Girls. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, why, why, why is this always happening? Like, I feel like I get sick way more. I have like way more of these stories than I should. And on the very long, awful flight home that I finally ended up booking, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. And I actually sat down and wrote about this because I didn't want to forget it for the book that I will hopefully one day write. I will simply say this. If stories like these are the tax I need to pay to travel the world the way I do and live the life I get to live, then I will pay that tax every time. The most important thing I have done with my life is learn to travel this world alone. It's taught me more than I can ever explain in some little YouTube video. But I will just say to you, even when you get your ass kicked, it's still so very worth it. I also, while I'm saying this, I want to say, yeah, I do it alone, but I also have the help of some pretty amazing friends. So big shout out to Diane for getting me into the hospital. My friend Maria for just ridiculous amount of care. She even hired a mobile nurse to come and rehydrate my little corpse and just get me back in shape. To everybody, my sister, my friends, my family who reached out and were very supportive. So anyways, those are my rambles. Maybe I'm getting a little too philosophical. Maybe they don't make sense. Maybe I got hit in the head too hard. Quite possible. However, that's just how I see it. So with all that said, take care. Comb your hair. Unless you have stitches in your hair, then maybe wear a hat. It's probably better.